mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Well, welcome home, family. It's your mom and dad. That's really pretty.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Hope you all had a great Halloween, family.
Oh, yes.
It was good and safe and delicious and wonderful. Since Halloween has occurred, which has been like a day.
Yeah.
But honestly, the past 2 weeks, I have had a song stuck in my head due to Halloween. And it is not, it's not like a Halloween song. It's not like, this is Halloween. It's not a Halloween song.
Monster Mash or something.
Yeah. No. It's not a Halloween song. I've had a song stuck in my head because, as many of you may know, like we discussed, our daughter asked to be a piece of cheese for Halloween. And she was. Yep. She had kind of a Swiss-ish vibe.
Yeah, big Swiss.
And she decided that with the cheese costume, with the fromage costume, that she would create an original song.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And with some inspo from Aunt Ari, I believe. And I think this is an original because I don't know where she would have gotten this. I don't know where she would have discovered
what was
this
it again?
song. It has been stuck in my head 24 hours a day for the past 2 weeks. I'm like waking up singing this song, and I think it's a hit. Okay. She's walking around in her cheese costume, and I asked her if I could record her singing it quick. So I've got it for all of you. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. It can be stuck in all of your heads now too.
I'm a piece of cheese. I'm a piece of cheese. You know what I mean, but I'm a piece of cheese. You can eat it for breakfast. You can eat it for lunch. You can eat it for dinner anytime you want. Gouda, brie, feta. Mozzarella.
I'm a piece of cheese. I'm a piece of cheese.
You don't know what I mean, but I'm a piece of cheese. You can eat me for breakfast. You can eat me for lunch. You can eat me for dinner anytime that you want. Gouda, brie, feta. Mozzarella.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It kind of is. That's what I was saying. I'm pretty sure it's an original. I don't know where she would have gotten it from.
No, yeah, I don't think that's like a song that's on Spotify.
It should be. It's been stuck in my head 24/7. I was like, Ember, you're a hit maker. I don't know what to tell you, but this cheese inspiration, let's keep it rolling. Well, maybe there's a future in fromage for her.
Fromage?
She could be the face of cheese.
I like this. Well, it's weird. There's all sorts of like weird kids music on Spotify.
Oh.
That like she'll come home and be like, can we turn on the song my friend told me about? And then the song will come on and there'll be some guy being like, hello, hello, hello. And then just like fart noises and like, like a cat meowing. And it just goes, I'm a cat. I'm a cat. And then it's like 7 million plays. And I'm going like, dude, there's like bands out there that are like fighting for their life, and then there's this guy making fart sounds in an attic somewhere saying like, ooh, cat, 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 meow, meow.
Yeah, it's not even music.
No,
it's not like the kids' music from, like it's like not like the Wiggles or like
it's like a weird
type.
guy.
No, it's like it's just weird
creepy songs and the kids
and
love it.
And they're all a little creepy.
Yeah, there's like, you'll never escape me. Cat, cat, meow, meow, meow. And the song's like 46 seconds. It's hell on earth, by the way.
Oh, these playlists are treacherous.
They're hell. When a kid comes home and is like, can we play the song? And I'm like, yeah, what kind of cool song is this? And I'm like,
it must just be like TikTok songs, like the,
Because she'll come home and be like, can you put on Scooter, Galibba, Libba, Gooba, Galibba, Googa? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's a song, trust me. And they'll turn it on and it's just some weird guy making noises into his microphone. So that all being said, I do feel like maybe Ember could do like a cheese thing.
I feel like the cheese song hits.
And
the cheese song hits.
Just do like a cheeseburger album.
Generation Alpha, Gen A, definitely. Yeah, the songs are interesting. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Gen A, I have had a pep in my step the past couple days.
Oh, here we go.
Because I was helping at a Halloween party in Ember's class. And so I was at her school. And as I was walking out of the school, like a group of these junior high girls started like yelling at me. I'm like, what's going on? And I turn around and I just hear them like, what are you all saying? And they're just like, slay baddie, slay baddie. And I'm like, it was like me. And they're like, you're fit, your baddie fit, slay baddie fit. And
they just loved your clothes.
I've never felt cooler in my life. I've reached the age where I'm like, the Gen Alpha approval of clothes. I was like, I feel really good about myself. I was basically in pajamas.
Yeah, you dress very,
I basically
Slay Sleepy Bay.
I was basically in pajamas.
Well, that's the thing is like when
I looked like a mess and I was like, thanks.
But you do have kind of a Gen Alpha like style about you. You wear like a lot of cool clothes like that.
Thank you.
And I do feel like
maybe Gen Z.
Gen Z. More. Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't even say that. I'm so far from it. I could never be.
Yeah, I don't even know what the gens are, but the younger people, I do say will compliment you. Like we will be walking by like there'll be like two girls that are probably 16. And they'll be like, you look cool. Like, you know, I like your outfit or whatever. And I was like, you do kind of specifically like cater style wise to the younger.
It's just because in the last couple of years, I decided that I will no longer feel the tension of a tight outfit on my body.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I don't have time to be uncomfortable in clothes.
Right.
I mean,
I've worn the same thing for 4 days in a row.
I don't have time. I've got plenty of time, but I refuse to make time for clothes.
Time's funny.
I refuse to make time.
I'm too busy to put on certain clothes.
For clothes that are too tight. So I'm like, I've discovered that I'm like, I just like wearing my oversized stuff all the time. And I think that that's just kind of their style a little more.
Also, it's funny. One of the worst things that could ever happen to you as a grown adult is for young people to make fun of you.
Oh, your clothes?
Or just anything. I mean, like if you trip in front of a bunch of like junior hires, like it's worse than tripping in front of anyone ever. Because it's just like, because you're immediately brought back to like being in that grade when you're so insecure and you're so on edge. But you also like if a seventh grader like makes fun of you, you can't like go off on a seventh grader, right? So like you can't get like if a grown person makes fun of you, you can be like, what the hell? You know, you could have an exchange. But like a seventh grader, if you just like go at the seventh grader, you're the crazy person, right?
Yes, true.
So they have free reign to just and they're
just decimate.
When they're in 7th, 8th grade, everyone is like a Jedi when it comes to like insults because everyone's insecure. So everyone's like really hyper aware of like everyone's faults and struggles and whatever.
I don't.
So if you like the worst thing you could ever do is like walk into a glass door like in a 7th grade class because their approval.
We've also reached that age. I feel like when you're in your 20s, if a group of like 7th graders were like, what are you wearing? In your 20s, you'd be like,
you're like whatever, loser.
Whatever.
Well, they wouldn't even talk to you because you're 20. But when you get like older, now we're almost
in that middle age territory that if all of a sudden I would have walked into Ember's school like class and a bunch of the junior high kids would have laughed at me and
days melted.
I literally would have.
Days melted. I come home and there's a huge fire in the front of our house. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like burning all my clothes. Like a bonfire. Dude, I don't know. It is brutal.
Well, it made my day.
Well, yeah. So for the opposite, it's a high.
Shout out to those girls.
The other side of it is
that I've reached the point in my life where you just made my month by telling me that I have slay baddie fits. So.
Slay, and I love how they just used all the words in one sentence.
And they were yelling it at me. It was so cute. They were so sweet, but
adorable.
Anywho, we're not here to talk about slay baddie fits. We're here to discuss the fantasy suite, non-fantasy suite.
Yes.
Golden Bachelorette episode. So let's get into that. Also, I got some Bachelor news that I need to relay to you.
Let's get into it.
So let's get into that. But first, we got to take a quick pause. Family, we got fantasy suites in Tahiti, baby. And you know, our Goldens, they're exploring the gorgeousness, a lot of adventures, a lot of walking. And if they want to be walking all day and make sure their feet are feeling good at the end of the day, may I suggest the Vionic Walk Max sneaker for him, for her, for everyone. Oh my gosh, you all know that I am in love with mine. Perfect for all day wear, staying active, or your everyday go-to. They are absolutely my everyday go-to because the second I put these shoes on my feet, I felt the difference, the science. It was incredible because this is science-led design informed by biomechanics to create the ultimate walking shoe. And on top of it all, they're so cute. I love the style. I have them in cream, tango, tangerine, and black. When I was at Ember's school, I was wearing my black Walk Max sneakers, the Sleigh Batty Fit shoes. Okay,
yes.
I'm just saying.
if that's not an endorsement.
That's an endorsement.
They are truly the best. Every time I put them on and feel the difference, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
You do actually really do feel it.
It's incredible.
Vionic's exclusive VioMotion technology is what sets them apart. This exclusive podiatrist design technology features unmatched underfoot contours, providing stability and support through every single stride. They began by revolutionizing medical orthotics, and today they continue to use that science to engineer shoes that leave you feeling energized and confident all day.
And I really do. I wear them everywhere. Errands, school pickups, long walks, all of it. I'm obviously obsessed with the Walk Max sneakers, but also you have to check out their website because they have so many great shoe options, like their Uptown loafers, their heels, all so good. They even offer a 30-day guarantee, wear them, love them, or return for a full refund within 30 days. So use code MOMDAD at checkout for 15% off your entire order at www.vionicshoes.com when you log into your account. One-time use only. That's code MOMDAD at checkout for 15% off your entire order at www.vionicshoes.com. Vionic Shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. Okay, before we get into batch news and the recap, I do want to say, quick announcement, family. So next week, we only have one episode. The following week, we have two. We decided that next week, the one episode that we do, we want to cover the Love is Blind reunion.
Yes.
It just dropped. We haven't watched it yet. We need to watch this, and we need to cover it next week. I'm too on the edge of my seat to wait. I cannot wait.
To watch it.
It's just, there's so much that we have to go over and discuss, I'm sure, through this reunion. So that's going to be next week on Wednesday. So tune in next week on Wednesday for the Love is Blind reunion recap. And then the following week, we'll have first episode be the Men Tell All finishing of the Fantasy Suite Golden Batch recap. And then the finale, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll have not next week, but the following two Golden Bachelorette episodes.
Woo-hoo.
So stay tuned for that. But again, next week, Love is Blind reunion on Wednesday. Okay, so I wanted to share some batch news that my sister sent me.
Whoa.
Because we've been staying up to date. Well, my sister's been doing the research about the Golden Bachelor news for my mother's sake, you know, to see who's still single, who's available, who's ready to mingle for Sylvia.
Right.
So we have to stay updated on that. But my sister let me know, number one, my boyfriend Jordan, it looks like he's seeing someone. So I'm waiting
pour a glass out for
so
my wife's
your condolences.
My wife's relationship in tatters.
I'm waiting for your condolences, but I don't know if I don't think it's official. And maybe I don't even know if they've like said it's yes or no. They're denying it. I don't know. But Jordan was spotted at a sports game with Leslie from The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, like they're saying maybe they're seeing each other.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Whoa.
They seem like the perfect fit to me. It was so funny because my mom and I had even discussed. We're like, I could see Jordan
that would
and
just
Leslie
be like
together.
The chillest house ever. You just walk in there. Like,
just like both so hot, so smoldery, so chill.
Absolutely.
And remember, she was like, she dated, was it Prince or something?
Yeah, something back in the day.
Or she was a dancer.
Yeah.
And he's dating these, so they're like celebrity dating couple that comes together and is like hot and cool. I could totally see it.
They both never raise their voice over this.
They're just so
like, wow, this sports game is very cool.
So that they're potentially together.
Yeah, wow, that'd be cool.
And the other person who I'm so happy for, who has found someone, but I'm also really devoted for my mother, is our King Mark, our Greek god.
Wait, what?
Our Triton, our king.
Who is he with?
he is seeing a woman who was on One Tree Hill. Her name, I believe, is Barbie.
Shut up.
And they like posted their Halloween costume together. She was like Cinderella and he was Prince Charming, and they were so stinking cute together.
Oh, boy.
But I'm devastated. I'm devastated, but I'm simultaneously.
Happy for him.
I'm so happy for him, but like for our family, I'm heartbroken because that was supposed to be my dad.
That's true. We did.
That
work
was supposed
that
to be
out.
Ember's grandfather.
Yeah. That was supposed to be my new father-in-law.
So I feel really devoted about that. But they posted, look at how cute.
Oh, wow.
They're adorable. Absolutely adorable with their like
Mark, it's very
Halloween
selfish of you.
hard lunch. Look at, they're so cute together.
Yeah, sure.
He
Your
looks
happiness
so happy.
means nothing to us. It's really just about our happiness. And this is a very selfish move of yours.
You were supposed to be the god that interacted in our atmosphere.
You were supposed to be in our family.
You were
and
supposed
I find
to carry
that
the weight
your
of our
happiness
family's
is
world.
very rude and selfish.
So,
but congratulations on
yeah.
being Prince Charming in real life and in our hearts.
I know. Anywho.
All right. Are we ready to talk about these Goldens? By the way, every time you say Goldens, I just can't help but think of Golden Retrievers. I find it very funny that you refer to them as Goldens.
You brought that up a few times.
That's called CTE, everyone. That's called my memory.
It's called years of concussions from hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough about my brain. Let's get into this.
Let's discuss this episode. Okay. Right out the gate, I do want to affirm that I believe this episode proved that we were correct about Pascal actually being Joan's frontrunner.
Interesting.
It made me feel confident in our thoughts last week about being like, I think this actually is the guy who Joan's the most excited about and is the most taken with. And we all thought for a hot minute that it was like, oh, it's just Pascal because, he's Pascal. He's the French charming hairstylist, and they're keeping him on for the entertainment value because he's funny and quick-witted. But then all of a sudden last week, we're like, oh gosh, I think he's actually her front runner. And I do believe after watching this that he actually was her front runner.
I think you're partially correct.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend. I think you're partial. Do you want to have an opinion about this now?
Yeah, go for it.
I think you're partially correct. Here's what I think. I think Joan doesn't know what she wants.
Yeah.
I think Joan is halfway in between wanting like a husband again, who's like the man of her dreams, and also in between just wanting to have fun again.
But she kept saying that Pascal reminds her of John.
I know, but so I think there's a safety bit there. I think that's like saying, I feel safe with you because you remind me of my husband. But she more than anything brings up how he lives a fun lifestyle, how he doesn't feel old, how she doesn't want to feel old. She doesn't want to settle down. She wants to have fun. And I think all the other guys represent like settling down.
Yeah.
And I really do think that she doesn't quite know where she's at right now. I feel like she's kind of like, do I want a husband again who's just like the down home, we're at the home and there's the kids and the life? Or do I already kind of have that with my kids and stuff, and I just want someone to kind of have fun with for the rest of my life? I honestly, the reason why I feel that way is because when he basically told her, like, this is too much for me, I'm not ready to get married, she goes, is it that you're not ready or you'll never be ready? Basically saying to him, like, I could leave this whole thing and just be dating.
That's what I'm saying though, because I think she would do that for Pascal.
But
I don't think she would have said that to the other guys.
I agree, but I don't think it's for Pascal. I think it's because of Pascal. Like, I think it's like he represents a fun thing.
Right.
So I think that she's kind of going like, yeah, if it was fun and dating, I could do this. I don't think she's like craving to marry him that much. I think she's craving to date him. And then she also has these marriage guys available. And I think she's kind of in between both going like,
but what I'm saying is I think you're just saying a different version of what I'm saying. I think Pascal was her front runner. I think that, yes, she doesn't maybe 100% know where she's at or what she wants. But the fact that she said to Pascal, he literally was like, I'm not ready for this. And it was like, okay, I'm giving you the opportunity to say, you're not ready right now, and I'll still keep going for you.
Right.
Like, if he would have said, I'm not ready right now, I 100% believe she would have kept him in the running.
Oh, like if he says like, I'm not ready to get married now, but I really love you, or I really like you a lot,
I'm starting to have feelings for you, but I'm not ready.
Oh, I agree entirely.
I think 100% she would have kept him around.
But my point,
because I think he's her front runner, and I think him leaving is like a devastating blow.
Oh, no, it's a devastating blow because I think he represents the other half of her brain.
Yeah.
I think it's like she's in between two worlds, and so she's going, Pascal leaving means I kind of say goodbye to the like fun life.
Right. And now I have to go all serious.
Except the serious, more beautiful, traditional life.
Yeah.
But if I choose Pascal, I choose the fun life, but kind of say goodbye to the like calm, safe life. So I think she's just constantly in between those two. And the idea that her choice is being taken away, I think that's more the devastation.
Yeah, I think
I don't think he wins over everyone. I think it's more like her choice is now gone, and now she has to choose between two serious guys.
Well, I definitely can agree that I think that she was going to choose Chock and Pascal as her final two.
Right.
And I don't think Guy has a chance, to be honest.
Right.
But I think she was going to choose Chock or Pascal as her final two. And that was going to give her more time to sit and debate between it. And like you said, now that the choice is gone, it's
that's, I think, the
now
big blow.
I'm between Guy and Chock, and I really don't think she's interested in Guy. Like, I really do not. I think there's this part of her that's like, he seems like this great guy, and I should want to be with him on paper.
Yes.
But I don't like kissing him, like I said last week, and I continue to see that this week.
Yes.
While the other guys were getting makeouts.
Yes.
That was still just a quick closed mouth kiss, and we're done.
100%. Like, I think the best way to kind of like, for me, see this is like, Pascal, here's my true belief. I don't think she was like that romantically in love with him in regards to like be my husband. I think it was like, I've been married forever, and now I'm gonna get to like hook up and have fun with this like hot, sexy guy who's like living this fast-paced life with money and cool shit. Like, this could be the back half, you know?
Yeah.
And so if drilling down, I don't think either of them had like a lot of like, I see you and you see me.
No.
You know
I don't think so.
Like,
I think
more of that's going on with like maybe someone like a Chock.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think that she had a lot of like, you see me as a person and I love you.
I believe
it was just more of like, you represent something that that I really want.
I believe she 1000% connects more with Chock.
Yeah.
And that 1000% it's a better fit, and that 1000% they have more in common. But I will die on the hill saying that Pascal was the front runner in her mind.
Like, here's what I think.
Like, I would die on that hill.
Okay.
That she would, if she could have gotten a choice in that moment, she would have walked away with Pascal. If someone would have been like, you have to choose one now.
I was also kind of ready. If Pascal hadn't have left, I think she was going to tell Chock, no sex in the fantasy suite.
Right.
Tell Guy, no sex in the fantasy suite. And then say, Pascal, let's try this out. You know what I mean?
You can't say that. She had a rule.
She was going to make an exception for Pascal.
She had a rule, and that was
because
her.
She goes, I have to know, this legend. Because let's be real, Pascal's just in a completely different world. So she's like, listen, I can't leave this experience not knowing the legend of Pascal.
No, those boundaries were already in place. She had said, no.
I'm just saying, there's a possibility she might have bent the rules for him.
Insane. Well, okay, so we start in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we start on a literal empty plane for Joan to Tahiti, which...
Crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
I don't think they've ever shown a lead like...
Unless they like did that shoot and then like, all right, everybody come on in. She's like, what?
They're like, Joan to coach.
Yeah, exactly. They just took a bunch of pictures.
But yeah, they get to Tahiti.
Yeah.
And I'll say that I believe the reason that Pascal actually chose to leave is that the second that he saw that it was going to be a cruise.
I wrote down in my notes, Pascal heard the word cruise and goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
Pascal, he heard the word cruise and he was just thinking about, how cruises, they're stereotypes.
In French, there's not really a word for that, so he didn't really get it. he was like, cruise around.
We're going to be cruising.
Nice.
But you know how cruises kind of stereotypically are for older people?
Yeah.
Pascal heard cruise and he was like, what the fuck are you trying to say about me? I am a young man.
Yeah.
I am strapping. Like, what are you saying
He's
about
like, we're
me?
staying at the bungalows. We're not staying at this damn ship. Well,
Why
obviously there was
cruise?
some sponsorship. They kept saying, and we're really fit, and we're
because Guy got that bungalow, which was
the bungalow was. Oh yeah, the fantasy suite was on the ship.
Guy got the bungalow, and the other two had the ship.
Well, my question is, what's
I'm like,
up
why
with the
did they
ship?
not just stay at the bungalows? Those bungalows were unbelievable. Only Guy got to stay there, and the other two guys got the cruise ship.
Well, it was like the cruise ship was like out of service or something because like they were kind of like it was empty.
Well, I think that they probably got it just for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, my thought was like it was kind of weird. Like, what's with the cruise? Like, they're not going anywhere. It was docked almost. It was like close by, and then they were like doing the bungalow, and then they were back. Then they were like on the land. It was almost like this weird. Which I guess it was probably just an ad.
Maybe it was an ad, or maybe it was like a filming, like a stipulation.
Oh, like if you're filming on Sea Law, then you don't have to pay taxes in Tahiti or something.
Honestly,
could be
I don't know.
Like
I could see it being something like that. But the fact that Guy got to stay.
Because when Pascal left, he was like in a rescue boat. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I was like, what is that?
No, but the fact that Guy got to stay in the bungalows,
right?
And then the other guys, they didn't.
Yeah,
they got the cruise.
Not ideal.
I was like, what? No, Pascal. The second Pascal,
like, I've stayed here before.
They stepped on that cruise ship. He was just like, this is, Pascal.
The big reason why I'm leaving is because of this cruise. This is disgusting.
Pascal thinks cruises are tacky for sure.
Oh, he would never go on a cruise. Never in a billion years. Never in a billion years. That's so funny. That's the first thing I wrote down was like, he was like, excuse me, what?
We're in Tahiti.
I think he flew himself. I think he got his own flight. Like he paid for his own flight because he likes to fly.
Sure. I mean,
and then he had his own accommodations.
Oh, he was staying elsewhere.
Yeah, he was staying elsewhere.
He was like, I'm not going to stay on this.
And then like the crew would pick him up from the Four Seasons.
That's why he started off on the boat.
Exactly.
You know what? I think you might be right.
Yeah, he's like, this is bullshit.
Now that I think about it, when they filmed Jesse and Pascal, they were on like the balcony at a hotel.
Yeah, well,
that was Pascal's hotel.
It's beautiful.
Pascal's like, I'm staying where Jesse is staying.
Yeah, yes. I'm not staying at this shit. It was my children.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, let's keep getting into this. So we got to take another pause.
We're a little loopy and distracted.
Yeah,
today,
sorry everybody. But fam, listen, the holiday season is upon us. It is upon us, which can mean a lot of parties. Want to be the most interesting person at those parties? With our next partner, you can bring the best, most interesting wine from an independent winemaker with a truly unique story. I'm talking about Naked Wines. This podcast is sponsored by Naked Wines. Naked Wines is a subscription service that directly connects you to the world's finest independent winemakers so you can get award-winning wine delivered straight to your door. And with our code MOMDAD, you can get 6 bottles for just $39.99. And family, I am telling you, these different wines are incredible. Every time we get a new shipment from Naked Wines, we discover these delicious new wines from independent winemakers. I found some of my favorite wines because of it. Like in the recent shipment, I discovered Dave Harvey's Columbia Valley Chardonnay, and it is so incredible. I was enjoying a nice glass of it when I was reading one of my romanticises.
Ooh.
So romantic.
She has not looked up from those books. Naked Wines has been around for over 15 years and funds over 90 independent winemakers around the world. The wine is really so good, and we love supporting independent winemakers as well, and also love their quiz, which helps match you with bottles you'll really enjoy. All of our shipments have been fantastic, and you can pause or cancel at any time. So just because you've got a trip coming up doesn't mean you can't enjoy Naked Wines before or after that much needed vacation.
Naked Wines believes that great wine is an experience, and they're all about helping you connect with your friends, family, and community over a shared bottle of wine. I cannot wait to bring some bottles from from our Naked Wines shipments to our families' homes, our friends' parties this holiday season. It's just going to be so great. Now is the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/momdad and put in our code MOMDAD for both the code and password for 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That's nakedwines.com/momdad and code MOMDAD for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99. That is an incredible deal. These bottles are like truly fantastic. This is a great gift.
Yeah, great gift.
For, like I said, the holiday party is coming up. It's just perfection.
It's awesome.
Perfection. Okay, before Guy's Date officially starts, Joan is joined by one of her besties, Nancy, who is from the Askin crew from the Golden Bachelor. And I loved this. I loved that they allowed... I did love a few things actually about this episode. I really loved that production let Joan make her own decisions. That she was like, I want to make it clear that these are my boundaries in the fantasy suite, and I want to discuss it in the conversation with the men. And I felt like the show did actually respect. It's a rare thing, but I feel like in this situation, the show really respected her, even by the next morning, not showing the guys like waking up with her in the same room. They didn't even like try to make it seem like what's going on. You know what I mean? They did have the moment with Chock, which we'll talk about later. But in general, I felt like they were really respecting of her. And she had said in interviews before that she even had said no beds in the fantasy suite.
Right.
Which does lead to a curiosity of mine. I'm like, if these Goldens, I mean, I'm tired at the age of 36. If these Goldens are doing an overnight and there's no bed, where are they sleeping? Are they not sleeping?
Maybe they just stay up really late, talk, and then go to
with
bed.
no cameras,
like 4 a.m. go to bed, or 3 a.m. go to bed.
Because I'm like, the no bed is wild, because then you're sleeping through. You're making Joan sleep on the couch,
no
and
bed,
Chock's
almost
like in the chair, just passed out.
No bed's almost like we can't remove all temptation. You're like no bed's a move like you do to your kid when you're like, can my friend come over and study? And then you're like, cool, I'm removing the bed from the room.
Can you imagine they walk into the first one, no furniture?
Yeah,
just not a piece of furniture
just a
in
lamp
sight.
with like a, where you sit down and get interrogated. And she's like, sit. And then
One
she sits in the corner in the dark.
I got some questions for you.
Just grills them for 4 hours.
I got some questions for you, buddy. But what I also loved is that they let Nancy, one of her besties, come and be with her, because you could tell she was nervous. Like she said, I haven't done anything like this, obviously, and I haven't been in a situation like this in so many years. And the fact that Nancy was even like, I'll stay the whole week. Like, to be able to talk through.
She's like, oh, listen.
She's like, it's no problem.
I'm willing to be there for you in Tahiti for the whole week. You don't have
to pull my arm. Like it's okay. I'll stay in Tahiti.
Here for you whenever you need me.
But like to be able to have actual conversations with like one of your real close friends about what you're processing has to be a game changer. A game changer. But they had a really sweet conversation. Nancy said, lonely is not a place you stay. Lonely is a place you walk through.
That was a bar.
Nancy's like everything to me. And I'm not going to lie to you. The two of them, first time we've seen Joan cry was when she saw Nancy and started to talk to her. You can tell they have really like deep friendship. Yeah. They were both teary-eyed, holding hands, talking through everything. They've both lost their husbands. And I'm not going to lie to you. My fanfic, it's Joan and Nancy in the end. That's my fanfic. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Listen, love you guys, but my fanfic is Joan and Nancy, because I was like, these two clearly, they adore each other, and I love Nancy's energy. So I'm just going to put that out into the universe.
Love it.
That's all I'm saying. But then we had a guys overnight, and I mean, it's the repeat all over again for me. Joan had said, Guy's farther ahead in his feelings than I am.
Yeah.
And they go on this beautiful boat. They go snorkeling. I'm so jealous. They're with the sharks. They're with the rays. It's unbelievable.
Beautiful date.
But the conversation it doesn't have the magic to me at all. And Joan doesn't seem completely relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, she never says anything bad about him. She never says there's something wrong.
Says great
and I will
things about
say,
him.
like, just him on the date, very sweet.
Yes.
Like he's constantly just affirming her, being sweet.
He's getting teary-eyed, being like, my kids and my sisters loved you.
he's genuine when it comes to like how much he seems like he just really loves her.
Oh,
like
I think he's like
smitten.
I think he's over the moon about her.
And he's kind of doing the sales thing too, where he's like, I'm retiring, I don't care work anymore. I just want to put all my focus and money and energy on you. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get it all.
So he's kind of like really putting like the, energy out there, but he's not like being over dramatic about it. He's like being really calm about it. But I think it's just a chemistry issue. I just think at the basic level is that she's just kind of like, he's really far ahead. I think he's a great guy. You could even hit when she was talking to Nancy, it was like she was trying to kind of sell him. She's like, he was a doctor.
He was a doctor. He might have a boat.
He's very handsome.
He might have a boat. That's to be decided.
He may or may not have rented or owns a boat. But you know what I mean? Like you could tell she's kind of like on paper, I should like this guy more than I do right now.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting. They look good together too.
Yeah, they're cute.
Like when I saw them on the boat, I was like, they look great together. Oh, when they were like jumping into the water, I felt like I was like, when you see the flashes, I was like, I could see them at 25. And they looked, I could see like them inside there being like dating in 25. So like everything felt like this lines up on perfectly. And I feel like she knows it, but you just can't force chemistry. And I feel like that's what's going on there.
Yeah, I agree. But he says he's mesmerized by her. Mesmerized. And I really think he is. So much so to the point that I'm like, something really shifted for Guy. And I don't know if that's his personality or if there's a little bit of the rose-colored glasses, what this show does. Because he went from being like seemingly liking her to being like, I am so deep in. Kind of
overnight.
And teary-eyed about it constantly. Kind of overnight. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of the effects of the show.
Yeah. I think the competition will do it too.
Yeah. He doesn't hit me as a competitive
No,
guy,
not
though.
competitive. I mean the scarcity.
Yeah.
Right? It's like in real life, it's different in that, like, if you're seeing each other, oh, cool, you're hanging out, everything's cool. But when there's a timeline, when there's other guys, when you might not get chosen, I think you kind of get the cabin feel. Like you start to think, oh no, and then you start falling in love. I think there's a little bit of that with him, where there's like, you're just caught up in it.
Yeah, and I think too the fact that Joan's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, no, there's no question. But I'm talking about the transformation where it was like he seemed cool, and then all of a sudden it's like crying in love, and you're like, what just happened over a week? Just
that side note. Everybody, so Katie Thurston, my queen, invited me to Dancing with the Stars as her +1.
Yeah.
From Jen. Shout out, Jen. Thank you so much. But Joan was there, and so I saw her IRL. She is like shockingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Like stunning.
Tall too, huh?
Tall.
Yeah.
Tall, stunning.
Yeah.
Supermodel.
Sure.
You know, like
you're right,
it's pretty jarring how beautiful she is. So it's like I get all these men
the
being like,
whoa,
holy smokes. But yeah, no, I agree with the guy thing. But
he always does this stuff where he's like, I'm falling for you, or I'm in love with you, and I feel this, and this, and then she goes, I feel like we have potential, and it's like we're like an episode away. It's like potential.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will say he's not panicking.
No, he's very calm.
He's calm in it. So either it's false confidence, or he's just not picking up on it. I can't tell.
I think maybe he's not picking up on it.
I feel like he's not. I feel like he's thinking like, everything's going great.
I kind of the energy
like
I
if
get
a woman,
from...
if after I told a woman I loved her, and then she looked at me and said, I see potential in our future, that would rattle me. And he's just kind of like,
you wouldn't do well on the show.
I'm like, what? I just told
Guy
you.
kind of hits me as somebody like where he's obviously highly intelligent.
Yeah.
We hear him with his doctor science speak constantly, but he kind of hits me like relationally. Maybe he isn't like getting as much of the energy from her, that like maybe she's not as much into the kisses. Maybe she's, she likes you, but she's clearly not like over the moon for you. There's not like a smoothness. It's a little stiff.
Yes. Yeah.
But moving on to the night portion, she did say that it was like one of her best days. But again, conversation, they start talking about the stingrays for a while. It feels...
It's a lot of how's the weather out there kind of vibe. Yeah.
It's like the temperature it's very balmy outside. It's a nice balmy, you talk about how balmy it is for like 45 minutes.
It's like, God, it's really nice out. The sun, it feels really good, doesn't it? And you're like,
That's what their conversation has looked like. Even when they're on the boat, versus a Chock conversation where they're talking about their feelings the entire time versus a Pascal conversation where they're being flirty and playful and
Pascal combo is
funny.
definitely the one you want, right? That's the one that feels
Pascal's
the best.
So charming.
But yeah, guys, a little bit how's the weather? And I do feel like
how's the weather, guys?
Yeah, but I also do feel like it has a lot to do with her. Like not in a mean way.
Sure.
More like he's trying. And when you don't have chemistry with someone or you don't like someone, you're going to give a lot of kind of one-word answers. We talked about this last week. You're not going to be like, and let me go off rant about this. You're kind of going to feel the tension. You're going to feel the awkwardness, and you're going to kind of try to just get through it a little bit. But she did say at the end of the day, like, I feel like I grew, like we got farther. But again, I think that's her just trying to convince herself, like, I think it's going good. You know what I mean?
I agree. Well, she ends up telling Guy, she's like, hey, I'm not going to be physical with 3 different people. That's my boundary.
Yes. I love that. I love to, he did like the fake guy thing where it's like, honestly, your boundaries are my favorite.
He's like, you couldn't be more perfect to me.
The fact we're not going to have sex tonight makes me so happy. Your ability.
He was, God bless him. I'm sure it was meant in a very sweet way, but the way that he was like so excited about it, if he would have been like for instance, when Chock heard it, he was kind of like,
was like, I completely respect
that. He goes, okay, I hear you and I respect that.
I am bummed that Pascal left because I really wanted to hear his response to it.
He would have been like, what the
he's
fuck?
like, I've never heard of this. No sex. What is this? Is this? What is this thing?
But Chock was like,
Chock was like,
he was calm, but you could tell there was like
okay,
you could see there was a level of
have
like
a little fun,
a little bit of disappointment, which again, everyone's comfortable with what they're comfortable with.
Oh, thank God!
Guys, like, oh, I love that you're doing this, and I was like, okay, Guy, we can
think of a talk all night. Wait, all night. You're telling me? Hold on a second. Hold the phone. I'm gonna call my guy friends, guys. You're not going to believe what kind of epic night is planned. I get to sit in a room with her and talk for 8 hours. No physical stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did take the Viagra. So that is going to be a problem.
No.
That is going to be a problem. You know, all 3 of those guys took it and they were like, yeah, let's go.
Oh
and then all of a sudden it was like,
too much info.
Okay, you're not going to do that. Okay, they're like, okay, it's kicking in now in our second hour of conversation. I'm kind of going crazy. It's like, she's like, can you get up and get us some champagne? He's like, do you mind? I can't get up right now. Back's hurting or something. Back.
The guy's excitement to the response, again, bless. It was very sweet and it was very supportive.
He was being supportive, yeah.
But which we love to see. But the way that he kept talking about it was so reeking of a guy who's like, I am trying so hard to not seem disappointed. Right?
Has nothing to do with physicality.
Because then he was just like, yeah, and then the next morning when they wake up, we don't see them wake up, but when we see him, he starts talking about it again. He's like, I received an emotional intimacy.
I had the best emotional orgasm you could ever imagine. Yes. Am I on this 8 hour of this Viagra? Yes. But I am so pleased. We went all night emotionally. How many rounds? I mean, 7 emotional rounds we went. Can't even walk. Oh, I'm so emotionally spent.
But anywho, that was their date, and I just gotta wonder, talking about emotional intimacy, just via their conversation, I would think a full nighter of talking. I just am curious what they were talking about because I just feel like there's
they talk about the weather in every country in the world. They're like, let's look it up. They're like, can we borrow one of the producer's phones? And they were just Googling like what the weather is in every country. Like, oh my gosh, really? I thought it was warm there. Me too. I watched a documentary on it once. It was very interesting. You know they only eat fish there. This is fascinating. I'm gonna use the restroom. That goes in, like just on the phone in the restroom for 4 hours. Like, oh shoot. Anyway, any more countries you found? Cool. Tell me more.
It must have been like that.
Kind of.
But anywho, that was their date.
Yeah.
I'll echo again. I did really appreciate, for Joan's sake, the fact that it seems like the show and the editing of it really respected her wishes.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. Like, again, everyone has what they feel comfortable with, you know?
Yeah.
And clearly these were her boundaries. And I felt like it was cool that the show respected her being
100%.
like, I am not comfortable with this and I want to talk about it and I don't want any beds. And it just, you know, it is what it is.
I agree completely.
But anyway, okay. Then we have Chock State.
Yes.
But before we get into Chock State, let's take another quick pause. So family, I don't know if any of these men are going to truly support Joan, but I know what can offer support. And that's Honeylove. Support for today's episode comes from Honeylove. Honeylove has revolutionized the wireless bra game. Babes, you know I'm wearing my Honeylove bra right now, okay? You hear that snap? That's my Honeylove bra. They are truly the only bras I wear. Why? Because they offer such amazing support and are simultaneously so comfortable. I am never uncomfortable in these bras. And for a limited time only, you can get 20% off your entire Honeylove order at honeylove.com/momdad. Their bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for uncomfortable wires and unnecessary bulk. You deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. You know the feeling when you get home from a long day and immediately want to take off your bra? Honey, that's what we call sacrificing comfort. I'm telling you, with Honeylove, you won't experience that. Their bras are so comfortable, you'll forget you're even wearing them. In fact, I cannot tell you how many times I have fallen asleep with my Honeylove bra on because I forgot that I was wearing it, okay? It's just that comfortable. Trust, I don't have that feeling with other bras. It was a first-time thing with me when I started wearing Honeylove. I'm currently wearing Honeylove's best-selling crossover bra. It's my go-to. It fully supports me. No underwires, plush, this mesh detailing that adds that like sexy touch. And if you're like me and tired of bras bulging in the back, well, guess what? Honeylove's bras are designed with back smoothing fabric to prevent bra bulge. It's the perfect bra. I'm obsessed with their crossover bra. It's truly what I wear constantly. And also, if you're looking for that relaxing lounge bra, I'd recommend their V bra. It has molded cups designed to lift and separate so you won't get that uniboob effect. And Honeylove offers more than just bras. They have incredibly comfortable shapewear. Their shapewear is unbelievable. It's actually comfortable. Can you believe? Tanks and leggings for everyday support. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/momdad. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/momdad to find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style with bras that empower your lifestyle of flexibility. I would show you all my Honeylove bra right now, but I might get demonetized. But I'm telling you, it is the only bra that I wear. They're simply the best. Simply the best. Okay, next we have Chock State, which, by the way, first we see Jesse talk with Chock.
Yeah.
We finally see Jesse again. He's down to fly to Tahiti. Tahiti he won't miss.
He won't miss Tahiti.
He won't miss Tahiti. Interestingly enough, didn't talk to Guy. We didn't see him talk to Guy.
Well, that is the weather stuff. It was like more weather. There was like, God, come on, brother.
Jesse talked to Guy and it just was about the
was
weather.
like,
And they're like, well, I don't think we're going to use this.
Yeah, we're going to cut that one.
But he talked to Chock, and Chock is just continuing to, emphasize that he is just so into Joan. I also love how Chock he uses your name in every sentence. So he'll be like, well, let me tell you what, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think that Joan is fantastic, and I can see her being a part of my life. Well, you know what? I think that that's true, Jesse. Jesse,
he's very corporate.
He's very corporate.
It's like everything he says and the way he speaks is like he's a guy giving out the top sales award at like his company's party. Hey everyone, fantastic you're joining us. Jeff has had a great year with us. We love. Now, please give a warm welcome to Jeff and his family over there by the bar. Thank you so much. Jeff has sold, $10 million for the this tech company that we work with. Thank you so much. And I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor this evening. Everything's that.
Let's hear it for the bartenders, huh?
Let's hear it. Fantastic beverages.
Talk about a mean martini, okay?
Give it up to Julie for putting together the delicious menu we have this evening. Like, he talks like that.
He does.
Even at his family reunion, when his family thing, it was like,
even when he's casually
thank you
talking.
for being here, everyone. It means so much. Your attendance does not go unnoticed. You know, everything's very that way. He's very corporate, very like
he's very corporate,
serious, put together.
But my God, the man lets his feelings be known to Joan. I gotta say it over and over again, and I am rooting for him and them because I feel like this man truly loves her so much.
It's very interesting to me.
Like, I buy it completely because he doesn't hit me. Like I've said before, he is competitive and you can feel that. And he's the only one who's always talking about there being other guys there.
Yes.
So there is the competition.
He's feeling it.
So there's that you can say, okay, maybe he's competitive by nature and a show like this can push someone who's competitive. But there's nothing about Chock that hits me like the type of guy who would declare what he's declaring, be teary-eyed every time he's talking to somebody unless he was like deeply meaning what he was saying.
I think a couple things, if I'm being honest. I think he's deeply in love with her, but I think he's more deeply in love with the idea of her. Like, I think he loves her because they just, this show, this round specifically, everyone has gone the least deep, spent the least amount, in my opinion, time kind of really getting into the weeds and kind of like, and I feel like it's almost like an old school relationship these two have, where it's like, I saw her by the bar.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks later, we were married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like he's going, she's hot.
Yeah.
She's cool.
She's smart. She's kind.
And she's smart and kind. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can figure out the rest later.
Yeah. No,
it's
I agree with you.
It's a little old school in that way. It's not like, oh, we've been dating for 3 years and I got to meet her parent. I got to know what's going on. It's like, he's a little bit like, she checks all my immediate boxes. I can figure out the rest later. And so I think because of that, he's like kind of all in. And I think that, but something I wanted to bring up that was really interesting to me was her saying, is he too good to be true?
She said it a few times.
I'm in protective mode with him.
She said it a few times.
And what I think that has to do with is the fact that she feels like there's a little, I think it's the corporateness. I think it's a little bit, he's putting on like knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
I'm handsome guy who is here to whisk you off away from your life, and I love you, and I'm not going to back down from a challenge.
Yeah.
But there's also a little bit of like, who are you?
Yeah, sure. Well, and I think what you were saying too about him being in love with the idea of her maybe more than her, maybe she feels that. And that's no shade to him.
No.
He just hasn't gotten to know her because of the situation. They just haven't gotten to that point yet.
He's also not loose. He's not playful. He's adventurous.
Yes.
But like he's like, and you're like, whoa, yeah, we're on this dune buggy and we're doing this cool thing. And then he looks at her and he goes, I've missed you so much. And then he drives a little bit more and he goes, you're gorgeous. And then he drives a little bit more and he goes, our life together will be adventures beyond compare. But there's no like, man, I'm feeling, it's kind of
playful like Pascal.
It's all very like,
he's not doing chicken noises like Pascal.
Exactly. He's not saying cock and then she's laughing. It's all very like, picturesque, movie-esque. And so I think she's kind of like, am I getting a real person here?
Yeah.
Am I getting the kind of Harrison Ford? You know what I mean? Am I getting this kind of role? Okay, chill. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going on. It's just going, you are kind of perfect.
Yeah.
But like, where is the humanity here? That's what it feels to me.
No, I agree with you. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I mean, speaking of that, I will say, so they're doing an ATV and apparently he has some already.
He's ripping.
Evan, he was going so fast.
It was actually kind of crazy. He was going like 300 miles an hour. It was like, it was like, whoa.
When they pulled back and showed the shots
and he's just like,
of just
unless that was like fake and they had like a stunt guy doing it. It was
I
like
rewatched that clip because I was like, is this sped up? Like, did they do this? And I don't think so. I think they were literally
going like 90 miles an hour through
I was like,
it looked crazy.
It looked went nuts.
It was shockingly fast because generally they're kind of putzing around and you're like, oh, it's cool. He was like, oh.
And also too, like the terrain is like it's bumpy and there's twists and turns and it's like you're going 90 doing this.
It looked kind of like competitive, like a competitive driver.
These are Goldens.
Yeah.
This isn't. We're not in our 20s.
Old golden retrievers.
These are not people in their 20s.
With the gray in the front.
Like getting a strain in that neck or something.
It would just flip it. Oh shit.
I mean, it's happened on the show before. I was feeling a little nervous, but she was thrilled by it. She liked it, and he loved the fact that she is so adventurous.
You know, we'll have many adventures like this.
Okay, also then we get to the night portion, and I gotta tell you, not to sound bitchy, but like if I'm in Tahiti and my night portion is a dinner date on the cruise ship, I'm throwing a fit.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're in Tahiti.
Like there's probably epic restaurants overlooking.
Well, I don't even know. Like, let's even just say wherever they're at. I'm sure there's a restaurant. You can set it up on the beach or just the views of like the Tahitian like sunset, like
lanterns on the sand overlooking. It's like
I'm like the cruise ship dinner.
They're like, you'll be getting the buffet.
Yeah, it's like what
in the main courtroom where everyone will be eating. And this random lounge singer will be singing for you.
All you can eat crab legs.
Yeah, and a bunch of kids with floaties on running throughout.
I'd be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm in Tahiti. This once in a lifetime stunning experience, and I'm
getting chicken fingers
in the dinner area of the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Brought to you by Norwegian Cruise Lines or whatever.
But you know, they have the conversation where he is selling. Talk about corporate.
Yes.
He is selling himself, being like, I feel like we were the right couple since day one. These are the reasons why. Yes, these guys are tough competition, but us as a couple is worth taking it to the next level. He was like talking about the other guys and being like, don't see them, see me, putting it all out there. He really does put it all out there.
But he also kind of put her on the spot, which we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
So like he goes, here's my sales pitch, right? And kind of like, he's like one word away from saying, please love me back. Like he's that close to saying it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's not really even selling himself. He is like, Guy is selling himself.
Yes.
Chock is more like, you love me, right? You love me, right? You love me, right? Like he really is like, it's more like he's intensely telling her his feelings in hopes that she'll return the feelings. And then like he put her kind of on the spot and was like, so tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I can't handle this. Like we're not saying this anymore. I need to know. And something that's amazing about her is how incredible she navigates that. I always think about myself.
You know what's funny is I was thinking about that this episode too.
Like I would not know what to say.
No.
If someone looks at me and goes, do you love me? And you're like, and she always finds a way to just be like, I find that our connection is growing into something beautiful where given time we will blossom into something. And it's like, how did you say a bunch of stuff without saying I do or don't love you?
She does turn a phrase.
Crazy.
No, if I was in that situation, I would.
Like, you're great, bro.
I would. No, if someone was like, "Do you love?" I'd be so stressed.
I'd either say it or
no. I even if I didn't mean it, I'd be like, "Yeah, I do love you," and then I'd be like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
like, oh my god, now I have to go and talk to this person. And be like, I didn't mean to say that. I just said it because I was stressed.
Yeah, because people start getting desperate at the end for like answers, and then you just have to kind of find a way around it.
She handles it really incredibly, but I did want to note that these two
Mac City.
Yeah,
it was a hot Mac. Yeah, they got into it.
So they end up going. She tells him obviously about the situation, the no bed situation, and he handles it well. It isn't over the top excited, but like he handles it well. But then when they get into that room, they are macking. We're got, the hands on the neck. Yeah. We're going in. We're like, and she even, as they're macking, Joan is like, okay, you guys can go now to the cameras. It's like, it's time. Yeah. And then the next morning.
Yeah, he was like, what happened in there?
They ask him, they're like, the producer said, so what did you do in there? And he's like, Joan can say if she wants, but my lips are sealed. Yeah. And we're like, Chock, Chock, if someone says what happened in there and you say something like, I could never, a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, or my lips are sealed or whatever, we're like, Chock, we all are reading between the lines of what you're trying to say, regardless of what happened. Right. Now we all think you guys hooked up or something. Even if you didn't, even if you just kissed all night and just, had some conversation instead of just being like, what happened in there? Be like, you know what? We had a really wonderful time together.
This isn't the locker room, Chock.
No, I'm like, Chock.
Boys, did I go to Pound Town last night?
Say it like that. No, but just say like my lips are sealed. It was respectful in the way that he was like, if Joan wants to talk about it, she can. But it also alluded to too much where I'm like, Chock, you know what you're doing now, right? Versus just saying, what happened in there? Joan and I got to know each other better and it was absolutely amazing. I'm like, Chock, I'm like, the competitive edge came out a little bit there where it was a little bit like, I want to make it known. Yeah. That, it wasn't just a conversation, even if it was. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what it alluded to.
Even it was funny, though, like a little side note. He's so corporate that, like, even when he shut the door on the producers, he was like, have a beautiful evening.
So funny.
He didn't just shut, like, everyone in the history of the show just shuts the door. He goes, have a gorgeous evening. Enjoy yourself out there. Like, he can't help himself, but just be like corporate Joe.
It's so true. He did. I forgot.
Yeah, have a wonderful evening.
I will say I was quite shocked to see the next morning when they showed him that he was journaling. Yeah. Didn't expect Chock to be a journaler. No. Right? Maybe unless it was just like lists of things. Maybe it was like breakfast. He's ordering breakfast and they'd write it down on the thing. They're like making it look like it was it's just a list of things he's like looking, he's looking out, he's looking in the sunset. He's just going, eggs. Bacon. A little bit of bacon. I was just imagining he was just writing down. He's like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I need to make sure to call Timothy when I get back and let him know that the shipment is delayed for about 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Maybe Chock's actually like deep down a romantic. Chock's just her golden hair. Wept with ease. Oh my God, Chock is actually one of the authors of my romantic fantasy, but he uses like a pen name. Stage name, yeah. A pen name. Sorry. Stage name. I'm like, okay, actor. Okay, big reader over here. To find out that Chock is actually like a famous secret rom fantasy. I don't. Romantasy, that's the word. Romantasy writer. Yeah. Would honestly tickle my fancies. My romantasies. Okay. Everybody. Pascali. It's time to talk about Pascal. Yes. And try to figure out who the hell this mysterious woman is. Who are you? Someone find her. Someone find her, please. We need a picture. We need a video. We need. I mean, this man says, she's a famous model. I know she's famous. 32. Like, she has to be. She's got to be. She's got to be younger than me by a couple years. She's 32. Okay, I'm a little too old for Pascal. Yes, you're old for Pascal. Yeah, Pascal's like 36. Ugh. He's like, whoa. How do we say in French? Yikes. Yuck. She's got to be famous. Even if she's not famous, early 30s. I love the idea that she's 32, a model, way taller than him. Mm-hmm. Right? She's 6'1". Towers over him. I think Pascal likes women who are taller than him. Yes. He gives me that energy. Yes. She's tall, and what goes on with her and him is that they met in Monaco. Yeah. During the F1 races on the yachts. But of course. Had a wild affair. Mm-hmm. And the thing is with Pascal, he's old now, but he used to be the guy that she is always, basically, he's older now. And so he's chasing this 32-year-old around. She loves him, always shows him the time of his life when they're together. But then he can't get a hold of her. No. Is running away with an Italian guy who's her age. Yeah. And then she comes back to him when the Italian guy breaks her heart. Yeah. And then it's back and forth, right? Pascal used to be that Italian guy.
So it hits hard.
Yeah.
Because he knows
he'll never have her.
that there's that guy out there that's going to steal her away. And so what happened is he was devastated when she finally, and then he's like, we can't be together anymore. And then she's begging for him back, but knows that she's going to go with the Italian guy again who's 32. And it's just been a drama. And so when he says that, I've known love, that's what we're thinking about. Also, he was married. He was in love like less than a year ago at the filming of this.
Yes.
Which is kind of what we found out later.
It's very fresh.
So if he's like heartbroken 8 months ago.
Yeah. Very fresh.
Tough.
Yeah, a year.
The only way to get out of like heartbroken from 8 months ago is like you need to fall in love with someone who blows your mind more than the last person to like get you out of that.
To be like, this was my love and I'm devastated is like I feel like that's an organic thing that has to happen.
Exactly.
Not a show. Well, we find out that his daughter's the one. Okay, hold on. We got to take one more quick pause and then we're going to get more into Pascal. Okay. Things to say. So speaking of fantasy suites family, my romantic fantasy books, my obsession, maybe Chock's written a few of them. They inspired me. And a few months ago, I downloaded these apps on my phone. This is very embarrassing. That generate potential images of my fantasy queens and shadow daddies.
Yes.
But then I realized, okay, this is going too far. And these apps cost a pretty penny a month. It's unnecessary. But who reminded me how much I was paying for these apps monthly and then canceled them for me? My savior, Rocket Money, of course. Rocket Money, what would I do without you? I'd be wasting a lot more money, I'll tell you that much, okay? Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
Don't worry, babe. I had that same app experience the other day, but it involved all my hockey apps. Strategy, you know what I mean? Like how to play better.
Yeah.
I do think I'm going to make the league. But don't worry. It's not just us. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but the real number is close to 300. That's huge.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rocket Money, you no longer have to lose money because of subscriptions you forgot about. See all your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps.
Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes by up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save, and then you can ask them to negotiate for you. It's incredible. And Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts, like easily creating a personalized budget, seeing your monthly spending trends, getting alerts if bills increase in price, and so much more. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. We are some of those people. They save us so much money every year. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/momdad. That's rocketmoney.com/momdad. rocketmoney.com/momdad. Okay, back to Pascal. Well, Jesse and Pascal do meet before his overnight, and this is when we find out he was almost engaged. And this is the love. Like, it seems like love of your life, write books about energy, okay?
Well, it's like we didn't know about this until Hometowns.
No.
And then all of a sudden it's like the main thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
Well... Like he said later,
crazy, dude.
Like he said later, he's like, my daughter signed me up.
I didn't even want to do this shit.
He's like, I didn't think that I was gonna make it.
I thought I was just gonna go to Hollywood for a little bit, have fun, and then get cut halfway through, and it was just gonna be a fun thing. He's like, I didn't think we were gonna make it this far.
And it all then lines up too with, obviously, you know, Pascal is so suave guy, but like how he was always just kicking it in the back. Because it was like I
think he's like, you're cool and all, but like,
I'm not interested
at all into you.
No.
And all of a sudden I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm kind of panicking on when I should cut this thing off.
And listen, do I think he should have left before it got this far?
Yeah.
Yes. But I will say, I can't imagine when you're in that situation and everything's happening so quickly and you are getting the roses that it is maybe hard to be like, okay, hold on.
Right.
When you're not there.
I also think he just keeps hoping
that he'll
get cut. Like I think he's kind of just waiting, like again?
That's why he's like, I haven't even spoken to this woman.
Like, I'm literally just like staying away, and she's like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "Wait, this is the first time we've seen like a bachelorette like following around a guy that doesn't even want to be there." It's hilarious. Like he's like, "I cannot help my allure," but it's
I just want to talk to Mark. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like it was just funny how it's like basically came to the point where he's like, "Just FYI, like." I don't really like you. Like, you're great. We should be friends. Like he even said, like, we should be friends. I mean, insane. Like he's the last of 3 guys and goes, we should be friends.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, if that's not the pinnacle of like the Frenchest thing ever, if there's this like lusted over man that's just like, we should be friends at the altar, basically, is like insane, and yet somehow still pulls it off.
Can you imagine if he would have said that at the altar, like at the final?
He's like, thing. I look at you like a sister. He's like, I would love to send you pictures of women I'm dating and get your opinion on them.
But like when he's talking to Jesse, he's getting emotional.
Yeah, because he's like,
and he's like, oh shit,
how did we get this far?
And I love someone else still.
He's like, this is crazy.
And I think Jesse was really trying to sell Pascal as the next Bachelor. I think that's what's happening right now.
Oh wow!
Because he all of a sudden was like, I'll just let you know, Pascal. I know people see you and they see suave, money.
Yeah,
charm.
But I see
he's like, but I see a
kind
soul, man who loves his family. And at the very end, Pascal goes, it was nice meeting you, Jesse. So I think that was like actually their first conversation ever. So when Jesse was like, I know what I know about you, it's like, you don't even know who I am. We've never even spoken, and you're telling me that I'm this guy. That's called selling someone as the next Bachelor.
Yeah. Also, an opportunity for Jesse to use his French.
Oh, Jesse was. That's
like,
honestly why he flew.
He threw it out at the end. He's like,
that's why he flew to Tahiti, because he was like, I'm gonna have an opportunity to have my sit down with Pascal, and I'll be able to throw on my French. Him talking and speaking French.
They did 30 minutes in just French together.
Oh, of course.
And then they're like, okay, Jesse, chill. And they had to cut it out.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The back and forth of the French is
French is the hottest
so
accent,
gorgeous.
The hottest language ever. Obviously, it's the language of love, So
hearing them back and forth,
there's something about Jesse doing it that, like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but like, isn't sexy to me. Like,
see that
because
changed
he's so just like
football guy,
American. You know what I mean? That it's like there's something about him. Like, I feel like. Like to speak French, you kind of have to have a little bit of thing.
That was one of the first times, like that was what shifted the game for me.
All I can think about is Jesse on like Duolingo or something, or like on some app.
But he's Canadian. He's French Canadian.
I understand, but there's something about him doing it that like just is like I just see him online working on it. Like the thing about French is like I need to not ever imagine you learning it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is, and it just happens, and you're this cool person that just can go in between whatever. But I see him like studying it, thinking this is going to play well.
French and start speaking it to you and see how you feel about it.
But you could pull it off. You could pull it off big time.
Merci.
Yeah. Why, merci. But yeah, he's tearing up about his childhood. Like he's sensing, you can just tell it's the pressure's getting to him. He's like, shit.
Yeah.
This is intense.
And God, he's got layers. God, he's
wasn't
got
hot
layers.
enough,
If he wasn't hot enough,
tortured soul.
He just keeps getting hotter. But when they have their date, she says she's the most excited for Pascal's date.
Of course, he's exciting.
She's the most excited. She said he reminds her of John. She says, I think I'm farther along than he is. So she's picked up on the vibe. Like she knows. But this is where I'm like, Pascal, you dirty dog. She said after the rose ceremony, he whispered to her, my walls are coming down. In her ear.
He can't help himself.
He can't help himself.
That's called being a player for too long. That's player shit. He was like,
because
you might have cracked me. No woman's ever cracked me.
Because even later in the episode, numerous times, he's just like, my walls are up. My walls are up.
Yeah.
So for him to whisper in her ear, my walls are coming down is not cool.
That's player shit.
I'm like, Pascal, come on now. No.
Yeah, that's called years of.
And I also thought too, I'm like, did he do that because he knew next week was Fantasy Suites? You dirty, dirty dog.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
It's like he's been avoiding talking to her.
He goes, I've been hearing through the grapevine that you have told men that there is no physical stuff going on. I just want to say I look at you like a sister. It's been really nice.
But genuinely, like, he knows Fantasy Suites are coming up the next week. He's been like staying away from her,
seeding the ground.
And then the week before Fantasy Suite at the rose ceremony, for the first time ever, he whispers in her ear, "My walls are coming down." I'm like, this man, like you said, he is a player, and he throws it out there knowing that Fantasy Suites is next week. I'm sorry.
My dad has many girlfriends.
My dad has had many girlfriends. And I died when they walked up to each other. And by the way, you know, all the other guys like run up to her. He does this. He puts his hands like this. And then he said, "Do you like my outfit?"
Yeah. Like, imagine walking up to the Bachelorette and saying, "Do you like my outfit?"
And then she goes, "Yeah, do you like mine?" And he goes, "Yeah." He doesn't even look at it. He doesn't even
It's fine. We know you didn't even choose it. This is my word. I brought this. It's very funny.
So he says in the ITMs, and he keeps saying it, I'm looking forward to today. I just want to have fun. I want to keep it light. I want her to laugh. I want us to have a good time. And he's like, yeah, maybe in the evening we can get a little deeper, but like at the top of this day, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. He keeps saying that. And then what happens is we have initially a Tahitian welcome ceremony. This whole, by the way, the welcome ceremony, the feast, the bonding ceremony, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. But when the welcome ceremony started, all I could think about was that gorgeous Tahitian dancer that came up, and I was like, Pascal is like,
Pascal's like, chill. But I did think this didn't help her at all.
No.
Because they speak French. So it even created more of a power dynamic for him.
Oh,
so now he's like translating for her.
Yes.
He's able to kind of go, well, he's saying this, and this is the word for this. And so it even creates more of like a Pascal's taking me on an adventure energy.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
it's more romantic for her.
It's more romantic for her to be like being translated to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it definitely probably got even more exciting.
But when they were doing the part where they were testing the food, and he's hilarious. And he's doing
effortlessly funny.
The chicken sounds, the rooster sounds.
Like, is it bok bok or is it caw?
And really funny. He's just comfortable, so comfortable in his own skin.
So comfortable.
And then the Chock comment, I was like, she's like blushing and laughing, and it just
no, I mean, it's fun, man.
And like she said, she's like, I'm not close to retirement, and he's not close to retirement. Like, I want to go on adventures. I want the world. Like, I want to do it with Pascal.
That's why I really felt bad for her, because I thought, what's more exciting than that feeling?
I know.
Being around someone that like
lights your fire,
makes you nervous, makes you fun, like is exciting, like sexy. Like he was that guy. You know, the other guys are like very like, I love you. Which is great,
beautiful.
But like she had that for a long time. She had the love. But it probably been a long time since like new exciting
flame was lit,
flame spark, and she probably felt that so heavy for him.
Well, it's all going well and good for him. But then the bonding ceremony begins. This absolutely stunning ceremony, you know, during this ocean part where they're like putting the water in like the coconuts to clean away, and like it was so beautiful. He says that he wants to release his fear to bring someone in his life. As this is happening, we get in the ITMs where he's like, I'm surprised by this ceremony and I was not expecting it. And he starts to spiral. She then is talking about her fear that she won't be honoring John's memory. Like, we're getting really deep. And Pascal, after she says that, he literally goes, okay.
Yeah.
And it's so wild because on her side, she's like, I feel so comfortable and vulnerable with him. Mm-hmm. And he's being so vulnerable. It was so weird to hear the different perspectives, because from her perspective, she's like, this date is going beautifully. I'm finally having this like deep, vulnerable moment with Pascal and seeing him be this way. Yeah. And on Pascal's end, he's literally in the ITM saying, I'm a little confused. I thought today was going to be more silly, like us being kids again. And I'm not ready for this.
No.
He was like, this is not what I wanted.
No.
He's like, when they were doing wrapping the tie around us, this felt like a wedding ceremony.
Yes.
And I am not into a wedding. Like
That's when it hit him hard.
He was like, I'm out.
Hit him hard.
And it was so wild to see
Now,
their
all of a sudden,
different
it's like-
perspectives.
Not all of a sudden am I getting married in a week, but also I'm like honoring her deceased husband. And he's like, oh my God. Like it was like everything's hit. It's
Everything
like double
hit.
intense.
And it was just so wild to see two people with their different, like her being like, this is everything and we're vibing so hard. And he's like, oh, hell
That's
no.
what's terrifying about life
thing about
in general
dating,
is just to think
I know,
like
that's what I
something's
was
going
thinking
so
about.
well and the other person's going like, this is bad. You know,
That's
it's
what
like,
I was thinking about because Joan is not someone who gives me the energy that she's like not picking up on.
Yeah.
Like, so to me, she seems like someone who's very present in saying, like she said before, I think I'm more into him than he's into me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's picking up on stuff. So the fact that during this ceremony, she was like, we're vulnerable. This is beautiful. We're coasting to the point that like when the night portion came, girlfriend was wearing black and fur. And, you know, that was for Pascal because with the other men, she's like, you know, in more like colors and whatever, because Pascal always wears black. She's wearing her black. She's wearing her fur. She's giving her best French vibe. And it's like, oh, we're going into this. Now, meanwhile, he's like looking into the distance, into the dark water with the moon hitting the water, being like, well, I'm gonna end it now.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally like, I'm gonna end it now. And he said the ceremony really freaked me out.
yes.
He said it freaked me out.
Freaked him out. He just kind of woke up to the fact that this was all happening.
And he right away, he's like, hey, it's time to have the deep conversation with you. I was in love last year. My daughter signed me up for this. I didn't think that I was going to last very long. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. So I wasn't pushing. Why am I here? And he literally said that to her. He's like, why? You know, he was hoping that she would say something that then he could maybe, you know, I think, why am I here? And she's like, well, you remind me of John. And I feel like he pales. Pascal pales. He's like, oh,
he was
God,
just like,
oh,
don't
no.
say John anymore, please. This is too intense.
Oh, and then she's like, you know, I'm looking for fun and adventure. Like, I don't want to waste any of my days. And that's where then he tells her exactly where he's at. He's
He went
like,
right in for it, I got to say.
I mean, shout out to him. He should have done this a while
But
before.
at least he kind of went all in on it.
But
Like
he didn't try to beat around the bush. He was like, hey.
He didn't let her hang on.
No.
And I liked that she called him out and she said, are you ready? Is it like a ready thing or you'll never be ready? And that's when he was just super honest. He's like, listen, to be honest with you, we just don't have the spark.
Yeah.
And like, I've been in love. I know the spark. I just had the spark. We really don't have the spark. I look at you like a great friend, which is tough. But I will say, I really respect the honesty so that she didn't feel like there was something there or we're left with like it's not you, it's me. I got to go. You know what I mean?
He didn't leave any like door open for her to be like, well, maybe this will work out.
Exactly. He just shut it all the way down. He
literally was like, hey, I'm having a difficult time letting go. I can't get to the place you want me to be.
Yes.
I don't have a spark with you.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's
I mean,
so painful.
it's what nightmares are made of, but it's the truth.
It's so painful to be like, yeah, you know, I really like spending time with you, like as a friend.
Yeah, like we should.
But like,
hang out.
I don't have any like va-va-voom vibe with you at all.
Like,
devastating.
yeah, so that's the big criticism of him a little bit, to be honest with you, is like, too late, brother, way too late.
Way too late.
Like
Way too late.
a couple other really good guys, Mark, Keith, whoever could have been there, that maybe she chose you over because she thought that you know. Now,
forgive me because I don't know the details of this, but I will say I did see a quick clip of Joan on Off the Vine podcast with Caitlin Bristow. And Caitlin asked her, like, do you regret letting any of the guys go early? And she was like, oh, absolutely. And I have to listen to the episode to hear like exactly what she said. But I will say after then watching this, and Pascal basically being like, I'm not into you like that. I'm sure in that moment, it was like, oh my God, like you said, someone like a Keith, someone where I initially felt this energy with that maybe I let go too soon. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what if I would have kept that person around? Mm-hmm. Mm. But she is getting like teary-eyed, which again, we don't see with Joan. We have not seen Joan cry.
Yeah.
except during some ITMs when she's talking about the man she loves, John, when she's talking about John, when she's talking about John with Nancy. But other than that, we have not seen Joan cry. This is the first time we see her get teary and cry. And I'm telling you, I don't think it's just the rejection and the hurt. I think she really thought her and Pascal would date after this.
Yeah.
I don't think that she thought that they were going to get married, but I do think that she had in her mind this idea, this picture of them being together, boyfriend, girlfriend, doing life together.
Okay.
I really, really do.
Okay.
And I think she does feel deeply for Chock, but I think Chock is a little scarier because Chock is like, again, I'm starting over. And I feel like she's brought that up before where she's like, hey, with Chock, you know, there's this level of feeling guilt, but it's good because I know that means that I'm moving forward. When she's feeling this level of guilt, like I want to honor John. When she's with someone like Chock, I would imagine there's this feeling of like, I don't want John to feel like I'm starting over with a new love versus Pascal feels maybe a little more safe in like a non-safe way because it's just play and we would date and it would be like a fun, good time.
Totally.
So then I think now it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I agree.
But I, though, have to tell you, I was in the midst of this, as sad as it was, I was laughing when he's getting a little emotional. She's starting to cry. And then he's like, are you okay? And she's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And then him in the ITMs, he's like, she tried to say it's okay. And I know it's not. I know it's not okay. I was like, now Pascal's getting his feathers a little ruffled because he's like, no woman's okay after I.
Usually they're crumpled on the floor.
He's like, listen, I understand. She says she's okay, but no, it's not. I can tell. I know she's not okay. And it was a little bit like the ego where it's like, you can't be okay right now.
I was expecting to cry a little more than this.
He's like, I thought you were going to beg for me to stay.
You were going to be on the floor washing my feet.
But that's when we find out when he's doing the whole get away from the cameras, get away from the cameras.
Right.
That was post heartbreak where he's like, go away, but they're filming through the thing. And he's like, I'm a phone call away. Yeah. You know, we love you. But it's friend vibes. And my heart was broken for her because, you know, she talks about how she's pushed her emotions down for people in her life. Like the kids, like sometimes when you feel like you need to like be this strong person, she's like, and sometimes then that kind of becomes you.
Yes. That you kind of like force yourself out of having the openness
to have to be okay, but she's not, and she's like hurt right now. And she talks about the fact that he was like, I know what love is. Then she's like, I wasn't lovable. Oh,
tough.
Which breaks my heart because that's one of those things too, where like just in life, when that heartbreak happens, you're like, it's impossible to not feel that way, but it's so not the case. It's just like some people are for some people and others aren't for each other. And it has nothing to do with you not being lovable. Yeah. It's just, you know, this wasn't your person. But that feeling is just,
devastating.
So
especially when you don't see it
brutal.
coming.
And now she was like, my hope is down to nothing. My walls are up again. Yeah. I feel like a failure. And you're like, oh no. Yeah. And the next week, it looks like she's like saying, like maybe saying goodbye. Like she's meeting up with the guys. And I'm like, are we done? So we get a preview for the fact that the Men Tell All is going to be happening next week, but also we're going to find out like how this wraps, which my guess is we're not going to find out how this wraps.
Exactly.
I think we're going to see her go and talk to Chock and Guy and be like, I don't know if I can be here anymore. And we're going to be left at that and see what the finale is. Agreed. And honestly,
I wouldn't be shocked if she doesn't choose anything.
This might have rattled her enough to be like, I'm out, which if it is really heartbreaking. I think if her person really is there, AKA, there's no way it's Guy. But if Chock is her person, then I think it'll continue to work. But I do feel like it might have been Pascal that she really had her sights set on. And if that's the case, I don't know if this will end in.
It's not looking good.
No, it's pretty rough. But anywho, not a lovely palate cleanser to end on.
Not a palate cleanser, but
just please let us know if you find out who the woman is. If Pascal's woman is. Is it Gigi Hadid?
People who are big
Is it
researchers,
Bella
fine.
Hadid?
Yeah.
Is it Giselle? Is it Alessandra Ambrosa? Is it, Anna de Armas? Is it, like, who is it?
Sydney Sweeney.
Is it Margot Robbie? Is it like whomst is this?
Just a bunch of 23-year-old. Like,
is it Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah.
Like, who is it?
Yeah.
Please let us know.
So funny.
Sabrina Carpenter and Pascal had a wild relationship.
Wow.
The entire album is actually written about him.
Taylor Swift.
I don't know if you knew this, but
Taylor Swift leave. What's his name for him? For Pascal. I don't know.
Will Taylor Swift leave Travis Kelce for Pascal?
We don't know.
And will Pascal become our next Bachelor?
I don't think so.
I think he will.
Wow. Okay.
I really do.
That seems shocking to me. I just don't think he's relatable.
But I think he's entertaining.
Like, he's awesome. I love him, but I'm just saying he's this cool French rich guy. Like,
now,
that's
do I
just
think
not,
he's gonna find love on the? No. But
again,
I think,
like I said previously,
but
it'd be like, he hooked up with everyone.
But I do think that if they they're in, he's doing like the limo exit.
Yeah.
As he's like, it didn't work out with Joan. And he's like, I'm just not ready. I'm still in love with the love of my life. And they're like, Pascal, would you be down to be the Bachelor? He'd be like, but of course.
Absolutely. No question.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Love you all.
But we love you, family. Tune in next week for the Love is Blind reunion episode on Wednesday.
Yes.
And then the following week for Men Tell All and the finale episode of this Golden Bachelorette season.
Yes.
We love you all so much. And we'll see you next week.
Mwah.
Bye.